Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ramey Outdoors, and I just wanted to give you guys a little walkthrough of what I've been up to very recently, especially with the kayak trailer build. I've got some awesome new additions to this thing. I'll be honest with you, you guys probably don't even recognize it because it looks completely different from when you guys last saw it. Last time you guys saw it, it was a Malone Ecolite. Now, I'm running with a Malone Micro Sport with custom bunks, some lights, and a whole bunch of other goodies that I'm going to get into today. If you guys like anything in the video, please check the links down below. All of those are affiliate links, and they help me out a ton. They help me and allow me to do what I do and just keep making content for you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get right to it. On this build, we're going to go bow to aft. And I'm just gonna go through everything that I've added on and anything that I previously have done, just in case you haven't seen my other video on the channel, which you should be doing, it's just the nice thing to do. But I have partnered with a company called Better Boat, and they make a whole bunch of stuff, not only for your boat, but also to clean your boat, keep your boat safe while it's in transport, and also I have used a lot of their stuff for a kayak trailer build, which is really awesome because at least that doesn't just single it out to just full-size boats. They also make stuff for your kayak, and it can be used multi-purpose. So we're gonna go through a lot of the stuff. I went ahead and switched out the 1 7/8 inch ball head for a 2-inch ball head, just more of a convenience thing because I like the 2-inch ball that I have. That extra 1/8 inch really makes a huge difference. I went ahead and added a higher class of breakaway chain. So these are insanely overkill, but I thought to myself, if I'm gonna do it, I might as well do it right. So that's what I did. I went ahead and bought some nice and thick breakaway chains because the ones that were already on there were not in the best of shape. So I went ahead and did that. Next, we've got a Better Boat trailer jack. This one is a folding one. I'm not gonna fold it up because my entire trailer will fall forward, and I don't wanna do that, but it's on a jack system, so you can raise and lower it however you want, and it's not a jack wheel that's a piece of crap like a lot of other ones are. So it actually turns and rotates very easily. Now given, this is a very lightweight trailer, but it turns, rotates, and moves like it should. Next, we've got the Better Boat trailer winch, and this thing is freaking awesome. So, it operates basically just like any other trailer winch. I'm not gonna say that, there's like cutting edge features on this. It just works. And if any of you guys have ever used a trailer winch that doesn't work, you understand the headache. The release mechanism, it sucks on a lot of boats. So you can actually let out line completely easily, and then you can flick it right back and immediately go straight back into cranking it. And the gear ratio on this thing is awesome. It's really fast. So, for example, let's go ahead and let's let out a pretty decent amount of line. And I want to show you how quickly this eats that line back in. That's pretty doggone fast, at least if you ask me. Let's move forward. So obviously you gotta have something to mount the winch to. That was just from a no-name Amazon brand, really easy to use. But here's where we start getting into the pistol de resistance. Boat ramps suck. I'm just gonna say it, they suck. So one of the big things is that a very large majority of the bodies of water that I fish have boat ramps that are unlit. You can't see what you're doing. So what I did is I added 4 pod lights all around strategically around this boat, and I'll show you where each one of them is located here in just a minute. And each one of them have their own integrated switch. And it's about midday. It's 1 o'clock. Obviously, you're not going to be able to see that very well, and it is full sun. I really wish it was cloudy because the lighting would be a little bit better for you guys, but all of these switches so I can rig the kayak better and so that I can get back down the boat ramp easily, at least more easily, without hitting the side of the boat ramp, as we all do. Or maybe it's just a me problem, who knows. So they all have their own integrated switch. I was gonna rig up a master switch, but I was just a bit lazy and didn't want to do that. So they're all on their own integrated switch, so I can turn each one of these off or on however I please. So say that I've already got the boat in the water and I don't want this one on, I can just come over and turn it off. Super easy. And as you can see, this is not plugged into anything. So what the heck is it running off of? I will show you that a little bit later. Overall, the bow of the kayak has not changed all that much, but it has changed. And, well, it's changed a lot. I'll just be entirely honest with you. So, at least with the trolling motor, still rocking with the Haswing Cayman. I gave the Motor Guide XI3 GPS a try, and stay away from it. It's terrible. If you're looking at buying one, don't. Genuinely one of the worst experiences I have ever had with the trolling motor. I have used a Minn Kota Ulterra. I've used a Minn Kota Fortrex, a Minn Kota Edge. I have used a Haswing Cayman, Haswing Cayman GPS. I've used a Garmin Force. I've used a Lowrance Ghost. I've used a Minn Kota Terrova. That Motor Guide was single-handedly the worst trolling motor I have ever experienced in my life. Genuinely terrible. You have been warned. I have rigged it up on a quick release system using paracord. I drilled a hole on the foot pedal release so that leading up to this carabiner, I can pull and it releases my trolling motor. Most of the time I have to kind of give it a little push on the head, but it keeps me from having to crawl all over everything and hit this foot release after I launch. Or putting down my trolling motor before I launch, which is why it's so scuffed up on the actual nose mount. But I also ended up chopping it from 48 inches down to 34 inches, and some of you are probably wondering why such a weird number. A lot of kayak trolling motors are 36 inches, but I actually wanted to prioritize having a lower profile on the head of my trolling motor. So I also used a piece of conduit holder, which pulls this all the way up so that I can raise and lower my trolling motor from my seat, which is really, really cool. And that just goes to an eyelet mount on a carabiner right on the edge of my command center. So speaking of, I have added the Yak Attack Command Center. And this is a brand new product from them that they actually launched about a month ago. And it's essentially just a crossbar with the typical Yak Attack mounts, except I have used the Yak Attack No Play system. The only thing that the No Play system is it is a wider system that is not their traditional lock and load. So I can't take this off very easily, but it's very, very sturdy, at least compared to the lock and load system, which has a lot of play to it. This effectively has none. Like, I am trying to shake that, and the only thing that's actually moving is my Garmin, and that's because it is still on a lock and load, not a no-play system, which I'm going to be changing out relatively soon, because, speaking of Garmin, I have moved over from Lowrance to Garmin, fully. So this is a 93 UHD SV. So it is their newest model with the SV UHD line. So it has the different gimbal attachment system, which is from the Ultra system. The Gen 1 had a bar system which you had to press down, which was really annoying to put back in place. So they took it from the Ultra, and with the Gen 2s, they have fully replaced that for the actual bracket system. Huge upgrade. I am never going back to Lowrance. Still a good company, but ultimately Garmin has been a lot clearer, and ultimately it has been a better experience. Also on the command center, I have a second track pack now. Usually my first track pack would be right off of the left side of my seat, but I noticed that it was in kind of a precarious area for landing fish, so I moved it to my command center. And I added a second one because I wanted a place to put my wallet and keys in, as well as my phone, without them potentially falling out like they would in my black pack, or at least in my short stack, which is on top of the black pack in the back of the Yak. So I would put my phone in the short stack that's on top of the black pack, which is in the back of the Yak. Say that times five times fast. I even messed up the 5 times fast part. So could you say it 5 times fast? But I have also added live scope fully to my kayak, which I will give you a full in-depth look at here in just a few minutes. So I am using the Railblaza mount, which I am not super happy with because, as you can see, it has a lot of play to it. I don't like that. So as soon as Yak Attack comes out with their scoping pole, or if Sniper Marine ever has a sale, which I doubt they will, I will be upgrading to that because I am not happy with Railblaza's mounting system. The fact that they charge $200 and it doesn't even come with a track mount is absurd to me. And yeah, I'm ultimately not very happy with that. That's a little bit of buying advice. I just would not go with the Railblaza scope pole. It's just not very good, at least for the SS127. For other mounting systems, I'm sure it works great, but with this level of play, and I mean, it's firmly on there. I have taken this down the road. It doesn't fall off. Yeah, not a great system. So some of y'all are probably asking, hey, where am I running my battery and my black box, at least for my Garmin and my LiveScope? So I'm not a huge fan of the system that I've got with this, but it works. And that keeps it from having to take it out every time. So I've got both my battery and my black box all routed through the, I forget exactly what it's called, the bow bucket, at least in the SS127. So I have my black box loosely wedged in here, and I'm not a huge fan of that. I wish that it was bolted in, but with how it is situated and how it fits in here, I can't bolt it in. And then I have my 50 amp hour 12 volt Litime in here with 2 Anderson plugs that routes everything. It routes the black box, the Garmin, the lights, the nav lights, everything. So that is how I have my black box and my battery situated, at least for my scope and my lights. But let's go ahead and go to the cabin of the kayak, which is one of my favorite parts. All right, so overall the cabin has not changed very much. I still have my rod holder right there. I still have my paddle holder, which is in that standard lock and load system. That overall has not changed. Still have my switch panel right there. And I have my power pole up and power pole down right there. I have my transducer mounted on the underside of my black box right there. And I have zip tied, as part of my cup holder system, a pair of Gomexus pliers. Absolutely love them. They have been fantastic for me, at least for the several months that I have been using them. I have also opted to go with a Yak Attack seat cushion, which I ended up mounting by pulling through the actual webbing system for the seat. So that is not going anywhere overall. And then I still have an extra lock and load right there. No idea what I'm going to end up doing with it, but I have my bona fide junk drawer under there where I transport my PFD, and I have my launching cable right there. So whenever I am launching the actual kayak, I will place a piece of shock cord down there and then tie it off to the bow of the kayak. That way, whenever I come down, it launches, and then that shock cord keeps the actual kayak from floating way off into the distance. Next, right here, I have added an extra track mount, which some of y'all are probably a little bit curious as to why I have those 2 paddle holders. That is actually to hold my tournament catchboard. If you place a tournament catchboard into these paddle holders and turn it vertical, it locks it completely in place. Then, at least on this side, I have another track, which I have actually not chosen what I want to do with it just yet, so I just have an extra lock and load just sitting there. As we kind of round things out on the actual kayak, I've still got the Yak Attack Black Pack on the back of the Yak, which I have 5 rod holders on either side, which is actually the maximum, well, over the maximum that you can put on either side. I just use some extended screws so that I can go ahead and put it on there. Not the smartest decision, I'll be entirely honest with you, but that's how I run things. Next, I've got my 100 amp hour, which solely powers my trolling motor and my micro power pole, which I have added. Honestly, huge thing for me because it has cut my utilization on my trolling motor down a ton. and I mean a ton. So by having an extra thing for my battery to power, it has saved me power. Interesting. And the reason behind that is because I kept having to, constantly backpedal with my trolling motor. Now I just power pull down and boom, I am locked at least in place. I still swivel, which is a bit of a problem. I wish that I had a second power pull. Which I might do in a future build, which I'm eventually going to end up selling the kayak. I'm going to take everything off of it and just sell it as a hull with the lights. And I'm hoping at least someday I can upgrade to an XTR 130, which will be my boat ramp princess and my tournament fishing kayak. But moving back to one of our sponsors, which is Better Boat. I have some boat soap and some instant hull cleaner right here, as well as a foam sprayer and a boat mitt. Weirdly enough, I've never actually gotten the chance to use a foaming sprayer. These are actually new products to me. So I'll give you guys an honest opinion on it, at least after I get my boat cleaned and everything, and show you guys how I like to use it, or am going to use it. So I'll give you guys a full rundown of my thoughts on it, just because I want to be honest with you guys. I'm not going to promote a product if I don't think it's great. The mechanical stuff that they make, I think is freaking fantastic. But I get the chance to use that pretty much immediately. So we're going to give those a shot and see how they work out. But let's finish out the build, because we still got some hidden goodies that I haven't showed you yet. So I'm going to go ahead and address two more things that I have loved having. And these things are freaking awesome. I've got two pod lights right here. I have loved having these because I don't have reverse lights. It is a 4-pin trailer connector, which only has turn, running, and stop. And that's it. So these, whenever I'm reversing, especially down a dark boat ramp, light up the entire boat ramp, which is fantastic. And all of that is being powered by a 5 amp hour Naqua waterproof battery pack, which I have zip tied onto the inside of this. And that is using industrial zip ties that are never going to break or rot. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on there. And that's just wired on the inside of the trailer, so you can't even see any of it, which is fantastic. But I told you I have 4 of them. So where's the 4th? Well, you're looking at her right here. So this shines up underneath the kayak, and it actually goes over to my rod locker, which I will talk about the rod locker here in just a moment, so that I can slot everything in. I can get my cam straps on there, and I can actually see what the heck I'm doing, especially underneath the trailer. Because that is a huge problem, not being able to see underneath the trailer or see what you're doing around the trailer. And another thing, I also have a toolbox right here. I used 4 U-brackets underneath there and then covered them with rubber. So I have a wet box right there, which is really doggone cool. And then I've got some buckles right here that each one of my cam straps go up and around and hold the actual kayak down with. And this thing is sturdy. Let's talk about that rod locker. So overall, one of the last pieces that I have really enjoyed about this build with the trailer and the kayak is actually my rod locker. And it is technically supposed to be a dry launch that I'm using, but I wet launch my kayak. So what I do is I have my key right here, and I just find the hole, unlock it, and then boom, I've got my rods right there. And it actually mounts internally, so you can't take it off. I mean, obviously you could cut it off, but still not going to be able to open it. And it holds up to 8 rods. Now, I've got my Evolve rod sleeves. If you guys want a discount on that, you can check the description. It'll save you however much my discount code is. I think it's 15%, but could be wrong. Amazing rod sleeves. They're neoprene, they float, and also they keep things from getting tangled. And they work really good with this Yakima rod box because these have strap downs. So they're not going to rattle and shake around, but also the lures are not going to rattle and shake around and get stuck inside of themselves. So everything's completely, it's almost foolproof how well this works. And then I just come, close it, lock it, pull the key out, donezo. And this thing, it's fully mounted on that track. It's not going anywhere. And I really do mean anywhere. So I'm gonna showcase kayak care and cleaning in a different video. I mostly wanted this to be kind of an overview of my new rig, as well as what I have done recently in terms of my kayak trailer, because this is basically my dream kayak trailer. Thank you so much for Better Boat for helping me with the trailer jack and the trailer winch. Those are definitely pieces that I didn't really think it would make a huge difference, but it really has, especially maneuvering my kayak trailer in and around the shop whenever I'm storing it. So if you guys like anything that you guys see in the video, check the description. There will be affiliate links that will save you a little bit of money, but also help support the channel. Really hope you guys like the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as per usual, have fun catching fish, people. Peace.